starting off with, we have Chandipal Vikramathan, who is the CEO of Embla Innovation. And so, for now, I'll just give a brief introduction, right? And then after that, I'll introduce themselves and talk about this. And then we have Payhere, the founder, CEO of Bhasha, Lanka and Payhere. And then Sankalpa Gamwarige, who is General Manager and VP of Engineering at Son 7. And then we have Yasa Sabekrama, who is the President of CSE, Computer Society of Sri Lanka. And then we have Damita Jayasinghe, who is the Vice President of Operations at CodeGen. So, shall we wait?
You can start.
Okay, I would like to ask. Starting off, I'll ask everyone of the panelists to introduce themselves and say something about what they feel and about the industry and all. So before that, I would like to introduce myself and my batch. So I'm Keith Sugantasa and this is my batch, CSE 13. So I did industrial training and now we had 6 months training, so we are actually having an exposure to this class now. And then with that, we are looking forward, and in the upcoming months we will be having our job interviews, and in 1 year's time we will be graduating. So with that in mind, sir, would you like to explain?
Hi, good morning, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, that's better. Alright guys, so I'm Chandimal, I'm the CEO of Embla Software Innovation, and I think a couple of you might have been like with the training as well. I remember at one point, even in this university, when I passed out, I had the same questions that you had, because I went through like all the questions that you have listed down, and I have the same questions. What it will be, how it will be, and all the stuff. Now it's after like 20 years or something like that. Looking back, and I was thinking, okay, the decisions that I made at that time, how it has like come through. Yeah, you will go to know the same. I think what I can share is the experience that I have gained from being a developer to moving on to management to and being CEO of the company. How I have gone through, and then my experience of how I went there. So hopefully like it will contribute to your future to make it better as well. Thank you.
So then next I would like somebody to explain.
Good morning, everyone. I'm 20 years after graduation, about 15 years of graduation from University of Colombo. But I also have similar sentiments as Chandimal. I think you have lots of questions, but after internship it's good because you have some exposure. And I'm representing Computer Society here, so from a professionalism point of view, I hope to talk to you today. And also what you need to do to stand out from the crowd as well, because when you go out to the industry, there are lots of people like you graduating from various universities, coming from overseas, but in that how to create your own brand and your own personality as well. So hopefully over the next 2 hours we can discuss, and that's my area for today.
Thank you very much, madam, for the invitation extended to the third time. And let me start with this session, how I experienced, or maybe how I felt. This is the first time I can remember that I met some of you. That's in 2015, actually, when I came to this career fair. In between, and there was not that actually they were given the task to come and meet us and try certain things, so maybe problems, occasions that they had in their mind, get a clarification for that. When I was speaking to, I think I must spoke to nearly 2-3 batches, this. And then I realized one thing. It was common to all these batches. I saw their body language was quite positive, right? Communication was very good, right? And then on top of all, I think their confidence is something that that stood out at that time. So then I told the guy who came with me, and I told like that. And then that's the first time that actually I experienced why I went to. And the next time, that was, I don't know how, this happened. I think Lakmal is back there, I think, right? So this guy, somehow the other, had included into my Facebook. I don't, anybody in my office or maybe any student that actually I come across to my Facebook. The reason is that I don't like to see them in a, a different color. Right? So that, the personal things, it doesn't matter because you need to feel that you need to touch them, and touch and feel is the mechanism I always believe in. So seeing what this guy been doing almost the last, I think, 6 months during his internship, going here and there, being half, East European, right? And so that I felt that, something different, it's engineers that, having that life, and that life has to be lived by everybody, but not for a long time, but, unique experiences. And I felt this guy is something, it's not kind of, the guy that actually you can put in kind of generic framework, and that's about him. And confirming that, then I got nearly 14 trainees during the internship period that who came to CodeGen. And when I was part of that interview panel as well, but at that time I was not really impressed, Then I told Upali was the one actually coordinating the liaising with them. I told like that, but when Upali was quite optimistic and he said, and from that point, from the very first day that actually they came up to the day that actually they left back to the university, the impact actually they had kept is, I think, phenomenal. Because even today we miss them to a great extent, because maybe, the things that they did, maybe sometimes, extra, not the office team that, going into different corners and helping the others to organize things and being there, blending with everybody. So that, the confidence again, the very fact that actually I spoke about, start of this session, that actually, I felt that, these guys confirmed the same thing that actually I experienced twice. The body language quite positive, not very positive actually, and the blending with the others, and that the qualities that actually I saw during that time, I realized that, yes, this batch has something which is not very common. That's I'm talking about you, right, which you can be really, really happy. So that, that impact is something that actually we as employers are looking for. So there are certain qualities that you need to have as a group. Maybe individually you have certain things, but I think as a group, how you behave is the one that actually we as employers are quite interested in. We are not here to recruit anybody today, right? I'm telling you the reason because you individually need to think how you stand out from the very fact that actually he mentioned that how you stand out from the crowd. The qualities that you have, you need to be very sure. Because it's not GPA, it's not paper qualification, it's not that whether you have first class or second class or no class that actually we are looking for, whether your attitude is right and whether you have the right caliber to blend with the organization and make a community. It's a community always, give and take. We are not making companies, not head count, right? We are making a community. So you are kind of a best fit for that with the experience that I have so far. Keep it up. Individually, you need to know your value. If anybody doesn't know his value, I think it's the right time to start thinking of what we have, how can I stand out. I have a lot to say, but next hours. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. With that thought, actually, after this panel discussion, maybe we all can learn something new and grow in age and show a better aspect when we go for the job interviews next time. So sir, thank you.
Hi, good morning. I'm Lanka. I'm the founder and CEO of Bhasha and Payhere. I think I'm the youngest in the panel, and thank you, Madam, for inviting me, joining in this session for the first time. And I'm joining today here for a different perspective, that's from startup perspective. I'm not much elder than you. I'm just 3.5 years after passing out from the university and running my own company, actually now 2 companies. So this time that you are in right now was a time that I also faced a lot of challenges, a in terms of mindsets and making decisions. So I think there should be some people who is passionate about entrepreneurship, passionate about making your running on your own stuff. So I would be willing to be a motivation to inspire you and also tell you the truth, not the myths, truth about running your own thing and being a successful entrepreneur. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And then we share something.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Honestly speaking, I would not come if this is not at University of Moratuwa. And it's nothing other than whether University of Moratuwa is the biggest university or not, it's a different subject. And I don't believe University of Moratuwa is the biggest. Some product of this one. Because if I think University of Moratuwa is the best university here, I may be in an illusion. So again, I would like to know that's a decision by outsiders. It should not be noted. Right? Don't ever think I am a product of University of Moratuwa. Hence, I am better than others. So it's a decision by outside. So I was asked that point. So I never consider University of Moratuwa as the best place. It's a decision by people who has come to University of Moratuwa. So that's the first thing I just want to add. This was not prepared thing when I thought how to introduce myself. So University of Moratuwa, it helped me for my academic and scholarly side of myself. So I have been connected to this place. Whenever this place, because this place for me is not this CSE only. This place is starting from that corner to go to the other corner and to the north. Because I was part of all these places. So this place, I'm a product of electronics department, but I have very close connection with CSE because I always believe electronics and computing is not a department, it's a one subject. So my background very strong in mathematics. Rather than going into theoretical mathematics, I love to experiment, and that time I thought at stage it may be best to analyze circuits using maths. So that's the reason I selected. But after doing that analysis, I figured out that I can do that in different manner. So electronics and software together was my career, and that was my scholarly side also. But latter part of my career, we came to come up with technical strategies, right? Just this strategies. It was not project plans. So when it comes to strategies, the successful key element was people. So then I found another special place in this strategy formulation, technical strategy formulation. I reflect back myself and when I have met a lot of people, and I believe I have mentored more than 200-300 people easily by my close to 15 or 50 plus years of career. I am 40. So there I always reflected that what's the message that I have to tell, something which I believe, which I didn't have words that time. It was two things. So I'm always mentoring most of the time techies. So always analytics. Second thing, I told you about strategy, right? It's people. So people is all about empathy for me. So for whatever strategy, when it's for people, the people who build that for people should have to do these two things. Because all you have that. All of us has a super person, average person, a poor person. So now, as for this discussion, I would like to contribute how you can consciously bring out that super person, and all of us are not poor. So we tend to settle at our average person. Unfortunately, without realizing, we ended up at the poor person in our career. So don't settle at that average person. However, we just get out with a super person in what? Analytics and empathy. That's what I would like to contribute. And if you look at what are the required skills for 2030, all big people, they seem to say it's all about mathematics and paper skills. So with that, I'll stop and we'll take it forward.
Thank you, sir. Shall we start? So, as the first question, I would like to point this out to Damita. It's actually about the area of interest, whether it should be narrow or broad. If I explain it more, like now all of us here know Java. So do we, since you're going to the industry now, do we really need to know, like specialize ourselves in Java more and target companies like that, or all of us should have a very broad knowledge? Like let's say we know a little bit of Java, then PHP, then Node.js like that. Then would it be good? Like which aspect is better?
Question to start off. I think knowing the fundamentals really well and how you apply that in practical or maybe day of life is the one that actually you need to know. Without that, the fundamentals, forget them, you won't be able to build a parcel out of that. Knowing that is compulsory, and on top of that, having, yes, I think, you need, there should be a baseline, because, you can't be master of everything. That you need to understand, that particular area actually where you are good at, where your passion drives you, maybe what you really like to do, where your aspirations and everything comes in. So that's the main thing that should be the baseline. And with that, yes, having something else. So advanced are actually always welcome. The reason is, now the contemporary world, the requirements that we have is, very wide. By the time that actually we came into the industry, we were screened through very limited set of parameters, and if you really know how to platform people, you are in, and then you can start working that concept. But knowing all these things now, which is especially how broad the business spectrum is, from drawing back to you get the business up to the point where you deliver and then you support. So that it's a vast area where you need to have product knowledge, taking that question further, I'm inviting the area. I think, what you really need to know is, you need to know your things really first, but at the same time, what else that you have to say. Maybe sometimes, it is not directly have kind of a correlation to study itself, but still it matters. Maybe, if you are musicalist, why don't you try, something amalgamate or maybe integrate that into a area, but you have to have the mainstream, right? And that's one thing, and we have seen some guys actually, you call them that, uniquely talented people. So that actually they have, talent specific to them, and it's not, you can't see that in plenty. So the numbers are limited, right? So that I think guys over here, they must be having something like that. So that first they need to understand those qualities, and they need to sharpen that and to see how you actually align that with your base skills, so maybe the baseline. And then you have another set of people, actually you call them, the secret source. Source is that edible source of the color. So that what it says is, there are some guys actually, I know that they got, they are here in this forum. These guys, and you will feel that sometimes, this guy is crazy, but he is not, This guy, the particular guy that I am talking about, he will feel that something is possible, insanely possible, impossible, that actually he will feel that still it's possible. That drives the team. When the whole team is dim, this guy will crack a joke, and then actually he will take the spirit of the team to the next level, making the whole thing possible. Not only the skills that actually you talk about, there are so many things coming from the attitude, and all these things, the collection of things are needed. But at the same time, I would like to tell that, yes, the fundamental knowledge is a must, right? Having a baseline is again a must. Coming anything on top of that, maybe technology, maybe the areas which I mentioned. So that is always, good if you really want to have a career, a long career. Maybe if you try to hop from one place to the other, you want to have all these things. Because what you practice from one point to the other, it gets different or maybe varied. So now take that, clear out that baseline and what you really want, and then how you align trying to be master of everything, will take you nowhere. So that the baseline plus some add-ons based on the liking and the likings and disliking are the best advice that I can give.
I would like to add a question to that, sir. Like, since you have been in an interview panel, like been in interview panels, what if an interviewer comes and say, like, I am a master of this certain language, so that's specific for the company, maybe a technology. Then you feel like, okay, he's a good asset to our company. Do you prefer us interview like that? Now, there are some students I know who are targeting on coming to this certain company by doing this certain technology, learning this technology. So do you think that will it be an asset for your company, or like from the student's perspective or from the company's perspective?
Let me ask that question first, but from a different avenue, right? So this word, I'm not sure whether have you heard this, the shoe-ins. Shoe-ins. This came to the management glossary in 1930s, right? This, horse races were one of the key gambling, games, right? Shoe-ins are the horses. Actually, they are extreme doing. Doesn't matter whether the ground turf is flat or maybe wide or maybe with many photos. Doesn't matter. Still be. The point you mentioned, the guy is kind of a shoe-in like that, right? Shoe-in in the sense, he had mastered Java or maybe anything else. You can tell that anything, as good as maybe good in that. With the questions and all that we verify whether, the areas that actually, it's in par with the generic guidelines that we have. Java, you need to know certain things. Whether you are thorough in that or not, we are looking into that. That's not one thing, knowing that, telling that is one thing and proving that is another thing. If you can't prove that, don't put it in that way. What you know should be explained there. To the extent that you know should be explained there. Otherwise, you can't, bluff us off because, we had done that 15 years back. We know the art of that time is really hard than telling you my idea right now. It's really hard, right? But at the same time, having told that, what I want to say is that, on top of that, what else that how you can market yourself with that, not just telling that and proving that, so that you have to have that ability when the questions were thrown. Maybe sometimes you might lose one question, or maybe you will not be able to answer one question, but some gets time. We have seen that many times. After that, whole interview, they are not facing it well. So that if you put something there, yes, I have I'm a person like that, you should be able to defend that. If you don't defend that, you will not become an asset, right? So that just a statement. We don't accept or buy statements. We see, whether you have done something, you can tell like that, but the very point, whether you project, whether you have done the same thing that you have mentioned there, these things are there. The projects matters to a great extent in a CV. So there are, when you go through that, we can see actually whether they have done the same thing that they had claimed previously. So that having is good as long as you have it, otherwise, just let, you have it, but, honestly tell me the extent that actually bluffing off somebody in the interview is the greatest crime that you can ever do.
Thanks, sir. Does anyone else have to add anything to it, sir? If not, I would like to, does anyone do you have any questions on that? Maybe comments?
Just a clarification perhaps, but I think what you said was to be a master of something, you really need to have all those basics correct, the background correct, right? And if I have to prove that I am a master of something, I can't just be the narrowed professional, but it should be built upon a sound background.
That's right.
Maybe just to add to that, I think one of the things that we check on the interview, okay, imagine everyone here will go to an interview at the same time. Everyone knows that you are from Moratuwa and you are at a certain level. Even if you take it from Sri Lanka, you have the IQ level higher than the rest of them. Do you do you have the confidence or not? Because that's where I think you are failing in some point. Because everyone knows that you can do better than the rest in general. You have to have the confidence that you can do better as well. First thing we check is the basic concept behind everything. Doesn't matter how, the capabilities of like specializing something. If you don't know your basics about object-oriented stuff to everything else, that's where I think that's the base that we are going to check. So make sure you know your stuff really well, even before you go to the technology. Because I understand that the question is like, can you master it? But even before you master it, you have to make sure that you know your basics. From the trainings that we are getting from all over, like everywhere, one of the things that we see is that you don't actually understand the basics. That's where the problem is. Object-oriented concepts, basics. I know that we have been in a year where like object-oriented was not there. And we know like why we have applied it. Unfortunately, you don't have that, you don't have that experience. Why you are applying it anymore? Because you are already like there and suddenly like you are going to apply it everything. You don't know like how it used to be. Procedure programming and all the stuff and everything, how it used to be and how difficult was it. So that's why you have to make sure your basics are better. And in the interviews or anywhere else, everyone will know like you are more than the average. Be confident in yourself that you are better than the average and you can do it. If I say any technology, okay, can you learn Objective-C within 1 week? Who cannot do it? Anyone can't do it? I have the confidence that you guys can do it. And I think most of the companies will know that also. The problem is you think that you can't do it. Oh, this technology, I don't know. It's like everything is not known all the time. It will be like after some time you will know. You just go through Google or anywhere else, you will learn and you will learn much faster than anyone else. But you will learn. We have the confidence that you will learn any technology, so we trust in you in that sense. You have trust in yourself. Yeah. So my advice is make sure that the basics are covered.
Thank you, sir. So I would like to move on to the next question, and this will be pointed out to Sankalpa. This is a very broad topic that everyone is interested in, and it is higher education. So we all have this confusion whether to do a PhD or a master's straight after graduation, or do we really need to go to a job and get the experience and then go into higher education? What is your point on that, sir?
It's first time to selecting that subject, I want all of you to always ask the question why I want to do that and what are my options. So this is a question of what I should do with that. Immediately go for my education or to join. So always I don't have a question why I want to do that. What's the purpose? Just speak to yourself and see whether the purpose is inner to you. Or is it just the external driver? So what do you mean by inner to you or an external driver is, if it is an external driver, I would say something like this. You want to have the so-called word of doctor. You are just expecting other people's respect. Those are called external drivers. So that's my question. But if you have a question like this, why is like that? Okay. So I'm so good in my theoretical things. I have learned a lot of other people's theories. So my brain was really working in that theories. University really continued, and this is a great university. It is really giving fundamentals and fundamental theories. Axioms are very nice because. So if you want to challenge that one and expand that knowledge world, if this is the purpose, my recommendation is immediately go out. or start this research, pure academic scholarly research. Academic scholarly research. Thank you. That's simple, my first answer. The second one, okay, your field, okay, I like to experiment the work. I want to see how these theories are being taken with people. Then your question is, then your answer should be wholeheartedly group industry study, group industry practice. Because when you're practicing, you get a different sort of wisdom. So you are seeing how difficult things be applied to one region, right? If your product or whatever thing, these commercial entities won't there, if you cannot satisfy or meet or in our own words, our company will inspire the emotions of everyone as an organizing group we touch. You cannot enhance the emotional experience. So you have your knowledge, why you are being hired, maybe whatever company, this should be the same reason, right? So you are being hired to apply. So they are your fundamentals, your application frameworks, whatever things, and you are solving a problem. It's again not a technical problem. Don't tackle a technical problem. We want answers which should generate a positive experience. So they are, some of you may figure out in that space also, there are fundamental limitations. Okay, when I started to apply, I figured out applied things. Applied areas also there are limitations, and still my inner guy likes to figure out something new knowledge out of there. Okay, that's another place you can still start your higher education. You may be able to select in applied technology. You may be able to still go back to, still while you are pursuing to applied technology, experience just research problem, you will be still, your inner mathematics guy may come out, he will help you to narrow down your problem even to a mathematical problem. And you can go on and do your research. Some of you may figure out you have other skills, like your analytic skills are being applied in different direction, not in mathematics. You have the ability to do social systems. Because our social system is also built on different axioms. We try to correct different things on top, but things are not happening properly. So very strong-minded people, you may figure out there are certain axioms, so we always consider this as the base. Hence it's there. But why it's like that? When you can go for researching into that area, that's another place. Some of you people can continue in the industry, and there are places who offer for industry problems while you are serving. You generated the application, but out of that application still huge amount of knowledge is there in it, right? You can fit into theoretical manner and come up with a scholarly explanation. So that PhD is being offered in the world. So you may be part of another, especially in Europe. You are in a university, you may be in a Toshiba lab or something, it's part of Toshiba. But you will be attached to another university. So while you are solving a Toshiba's problem, so it's an applied research problem, you would be given a PhD by another university. So there are lots of options. So my take is, before you select what path to go, first just listen to yourself, to your own heart and see why are you going to do that. So have I answered your question?
Yes, sir. With that, sir, there is another question attached to it, and this was also asked by the students. Like straight after graduation, somehow the University of Moratuwa students have a certain level of guarantee for their job. But if some student is actually passionate about going for higher studies and then joining a job, is there a certain, the same amount of guarantees there, like after 2-3 years of time? Now, since we know that these students are graduating, now they're graduates, so there's a guarantee. Like we know, okay, we graduated from university, so they're knowledgeable, like that. But then, let's say one person will go for higher studies. He will come back after 4 or 5 years. Maybe if he comes to the same company.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yes. The simple reason is companies, today's context, I mean, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when we were joining, industry was not mature. So, but I think today's industry is really mature. Classic example is all of our companies, we have PhDs. So, like, we don't have to just name one or two, plenty of PhDs. Companies know the value of that PhD. So I think companies always, he may have a different level of leadership within the company, along with his other skills. I told him, so you are just only analytical strong. PhD, you are very much narrowed down to only to their particular technology spectrum research. But along with that, if you have your other empathy skills, that is your people skills, you can be a great leader, right? We have seen those leaders, right? Okay, I'll just mention you. So, my company Bhasha, one of my good friends, Sanjay Virwala, you name, right? They have both skills. At the same time, I have seen there are other great PhD people at MIT. He was Pranav. He's the one who taught me how to write very deep C++. Pranav is a technology-based, deep technology-based research team. He's not a people person. He's a nice person, but people person means he's quite a charismatic business sort of person. So, I say, yes, we need for those to go out and come back. So this message, you even should tell your friends who are already doing PhDs there. So let them know companies are looking forward to have their PhD there.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think I had something along the lines that some kind of spoke. I think whether you want to do higher studies or not, or whether you want to continue in industry, or whether you want to come back after higher studies, it comes down to some basics, I believe, around the goals you set for yourself. I think you are now nearing the milestone in your lives where you complete your first degree and then you want to see what you do in the future. So I personally believe that someone intellectual as you are should have a vision for your life. You should think what I'm good at now, because you are now 24 years old, 25 years old, so you are at a point where you can actually judge what I'm good at and what I like to do, and based on that, have a vision for yourself, what I want to achieve in the next maybe 10 years, 20 years. Could be 30, 40 years down the line is a little too far away, but maybe for next 10 years where I want to be, maybe 20 years where I want to be. So you have a vision for your life, so you have the big picture clear, and then you kind of draw the path or draw the road how to get there. So if you don't know the end, it's difficult to decide what you want to do next. So that question about higher studies, kind of, I don't want to give a direct answer, do higher studies or don't do higher studies, but the question actually goes back to basics. What do you want to do? That answer is different for me, that answer is different for them, that answer is different for you, etc. So every person will have a different end goal, but you need to be now thinking of that end vision. When you were 16 years old, I think it would have been a little too early, not matured enough, don't know the world enough to draw that final picture or visionary picture. But now you are at a point where you got the first degree, fairly intellectual, fairly mature, have access to lots of resources within the university as well as outside the university, even from your internships, even the panel members like this, etc. So you have the resources to draw your vision. So I would encourage, now start thinking what you want to do in the long term, and then slowly bring it down. What should I do in the next year, next 2 years, next 3 years, next 5 years, and then slowly you will get there. Okay, so that's my advice. So it's simpler, but start thinking about that.
Thank you, sir. So this is actually part of our life and part of our career. So is there any questions from the audience to be asked about higher education? Anything you feel, anything you want to know? Yes.
Someone want to come to the industry after the PhD, what is the best way of doing that? Going into the industry after the graduation and stay for some maybe 2 years or kind of time, and then go to the PhD and come back to the industry again, or immediately after graduation do the PhD and come back to the industry.
So there is no hard and fast single rule, but for someone to make it easy to continue interview is a very small time we have to judge about the engagement, right? That's about engagement. There are a lot of time we have to judge it as interviewers. Any doubts? It is fit for our culture. It is that attitude, need this teamwork, and all these very obvious questions are there. If someone immediately goes out to PhD and doesn't have a track record of engage with the rest of the people, then the marks what you are getting at the interview about your ability to adapt to a different dynamic business entity, actually they have that doubt, right? So I know they became wish to take on doubts, so they are, the person may have become disadvantage. However, still during your school time also, whether any school time, university time, you are being engaged with many other extracurricular activities, and still you come back and you are willing to just start, there will be a problem. Because sometimes they think, okay, just for initial engagement, okay, we may do a little bit more than what we offered as a fresh graduate, but that may be just a starting point. But if you had prior experience and through that experience also along with the PhD, then you are starting whatever engagement it may happen at a higher level. So these are the different things. Some people, for example, I'm looking forward to hire back a person, and he said he's doing biomedical engineering. I've always asked him to come back. He was going this year. He worked with me even before going to the PhD at Johns Hopkins. He was doing some research with me, but he doesn't have other rest of the industry but we have seen him how he interact with the rest of the team and develop his humbleness and many other things. So we don't have any doubt to get him. He doesn't have much experience with industry projects. Always been doing that, but we know as an intern how we engage with the teams and all these continuous rapport. So these are other ways that even we may like to have you. So likewise, there is no hard and fast rule.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move to the next question. So this question is pointed out to Lanka. This is actually because most of us are looking here to go into startups. And I have seen like most of the batch people are going to hackathons and going to new products. So with this concept of startups, the only problem we have is, the main problem we have is the risk. Like, shall we go into a startup straight after graduation and risk the job that we are supposed to get? Or maybe put in some money and risk the money? Maybe it's always a win-win, like it's a situation where you could actually lose or you actually win. So in that terms, do you have any advice?
Yep. Now, first of all, I'm really amazed to hear that there are many attempts to be, to start your own startups, because at my age, when I was at your age, it was only me actually, literally, maybe one or two else. But from CSE batch, it was only me. So it's really great to hear that. But keeping that in mind, I have to say that, entrepreneurship or startups is not for everyone. That's the bitter truth. So you should identify what is your passion, because to do your own stuff, to be an entrepreneur, you should have a burning passion to work on that, because it's not easy, right? It's not easy, it's hard. There you have to go through from various hardships, you have to face various challenges, but if you go through them in the beginning, at the end, the return will be more higher than going for a job. Now, saying that, what you have to identify is, now I said in the beginning that entrepreneurship for startups are not for everyone, right? Now, if you have that passion, it's a waste of time for you to go for a job and move your career in that path. At least on some day, if you are going for a job, at least some day you should use your potential on that thing. On the other hand, if you don't have such a passion, if you don't have such a attitude to face the risks and face the challenges and go through the hardships and ultimately get that winning situation, then it's a waste of time for you to try on a startup, right? It's better to go for a secure job where you can get secure income, where you don't want to have any risks in that way. Now, in both terms, it depends on you, right? Now, as previously mentioned, you should think, what is your passion? What are you really good at? Will I be able to go through all this and get that into the successful level, or is it convenient for me to just go for a secure job where you can get a secure income? Regardless of what you, it depends, but really do, right? But at the end of the day, if you have that passion, you may first go for a job, but at least someday you should use that passion to get the real spirit out of you to do a better thing that you are passionate about.
And can I just add one more thing? When it comes to startup, that he has done, that's the natural startup. What we see, there's a business model among big companies also right now. They are interested, they organize good innovation and then conventional structure itself, they cannot break that value. So if you look at all big companies in Sri Lanka, which has been now followed from Silicon Valley, within the companies itself, different products, we are in a business, we have to continuously rapidly change, we have to challenge disruption. They themselves have some sort of funds for their employees to do the startups. So that model is also happening. So you would be part of you would get the ownership of those sort of things. So I personally know there are many companies here in Sri Lanka, including our company, who do that. So that model is also there. So don't worry. So game is whether you go to your own startup or whether you go to another organization, whether it's a structured organization, people want your entrepreneurial skills. People want your entrepreneurial skills. So always try to push them. Maybe in the latter part of the time you can have your own startup, or even you be within that organization structured organizations are changing from conventional set object, you follow least object model to what people to set object and the organization final objective, and they show these are cumulative goals. So I'll explain you. Typically, in most other organizations, we are beginning, it's a conventional organization, beginning, they set these are our goals. And you want to achieve this percentage, this thing, that. Then cascade to the bottom and people have to come up with their goals in line with this, whether practically they can achieve it or not. But in today's context, most probably what they say is, seeing the feeling of the entire organization, they very loosely just put some objectives as a guideline and ask everyone to cascade as guideline or even go beyond that and their own ghost township. Even that some sort of a units as startups. Then what organization does, they adopt these that their ultimate organization goal will be something totally different than what we originally anticipated. So that's how they're going to be moving. So the entrepreneurial skill is a must.
Thanks.
Just to add a little bit, when I was in the university, we wanted to do like something new, and there was always like a couple of people who wants to get together and do something. And one of my friends, he was in civil, and we wanted to building schedule rates. Now this was back in long time back, and computerization was not exactly the thing. We did the program, and we went to Swipe and Prices. I think that's like a civil engineering company, and they were really happy about the product and everything. They told us to like keep on doing it. But unfortunately, like after some time, it was a product that we actually came up with, and if we have stuck to that, maybe it would have been like really big at this time now. But me being like not the risk taker, I didn't really go for it. So there is a certain element when it comes to, are you the risk taker at this point? That you have to decide for yourself. Because I was not. Quite frankly, I want to do it. I had the passion and all the stuff is there. But I was not the risk taker, okay, do I want to like go through the whole thing and then make sure that it will be there. But if we would have done it, it would have been success as well. So any path will take you there. But later on, I did start a startup, and with another friend of some of the services, we started a startup, and now it's pretty okay. I was thinking, okay, maybe I should have started this long time back also, because it has like quite recently I have started it. Then it became like, okay, I should have done this long time back as well. Maybe you have to build up your risk taking the risk also up sometime. You will be in a company or wherever it is, it will help you. Like Sankaza said, it might help you like to go there. You might take a step and do it. I believe like everyone can be like an entrepreneur. Only thing is like the passion and the risk taking, that's the elements that will decide you, are you the entrepreneur down the line also. So even in our company also, like Sankaza said, that we have products that we do, and then we give shares to the employees as well. It has like really changed the whole situation now, because they are coming and saying, I'm part of the shareholders now, we will have to do something about it because there was a problem and how are we going to do about it. And then the one guy came and said, okay, it's okay, we'll do something, we are shareholders as well. So that was a real nice feeling, because people took ownership and then they want to do something about it. That's, I think, the way it will be moving forward for companies as well. They want to make sure that innovation and everything is there, and you to be an entrepreneur as well. So don't give up on entrepreneurship. Maybe like long time down in the future you will start it. You never know. Maybe it will be like Lanka, okay, you start it now. Give it a chance at one point.
Thanks.
Just to add that, I mean, when you making the decision, now, if I share my experience in your age, it was really hard for me to take the decision to kick off the job offer that I had already got. And I mean, I was even signed the contracts with the company to join after my graduation. But later on, actually, I decided, no, I will not do this, I will go on my own path. So that was a really tough decision. But today I am really happy about making that decision and giving the resignation letter to that company. But when you make your decision, don't just base it on the achievements that you have achieved throughout the past, years in terms of technical things. Right? Now you may have, as he said, you may have won several hackathons and many competitions, but they mostly are the technical, they only value the potential of your technical product, right? But when it comes to a startup, it's not just the technical, how it's not smart technically, but you should have a business model, right? Otherwise, at the end of the day, you will have a great product, but you won't be able to survive financially, right? So, base those things as well, whether you will have, if you already have a product idea or are passionate about something in your own, estimate, measure what is the commercial value and the business model, what type of a business model that you can find for the idea that you have. Because otherwise, you will go with the passion just for the technical stuff, but you will end up by sucking on the business side, right? And this is not to demotivate you, but those are the risks. Those are the barriers that we have. In reality, we face when we are working on our own thing. So think about that also.
Thanks. Do we have any questions on this regards from the audience? Okay, let's move on to the next question then. This is actually a basis to introduce the CSS, since you have been the president for over 5 years now.
Only 2 months.
Oh.
I've been involved for 5 years, but it's been for 2 months.
Okay, sir. So with that in mind, I want to ask this question, and then as a basis to introduce CSS, sir. In other fields, like in medicine and all, we have these societies like GMO, all the SLMC, and we have all these societies. If we have a problem, a common problem, we have a set of people to address that problem. Like even the private bus owners association, they have a separate association. When it comes to IT professionals, now we have this issue with EDCA. Do we have a society or an association like that so that we can actually look up to them and then first get this problem solved?
Thank you very much. It's like a tailor-made question, I think. So we actually have a professional association for the IT industry, and that is the Computer Society of Sri Lanka, the organization that I represent. And I'll say in a while things that we do to represent the IT professionals. But let me introduce CSSL a bit so that you understand. Computer Society was formed 40 years ago in 1976. At the time, the industry was very small. At the time, the industry would have been like 100 professionals. But those professionals got together and created a professional association to represent them. So if you have 100 people, all 100 people can't go and raise their voice or raise their concerns in front of whatever the stakeholder is. So they created this society, and that society was to represent the IT professionals. So we've been doing that role of representing ICT professionals and being the voice of ICT professionals for 4 decades. Now, at the beginning in 1976 and early 80s, we would have had 100% of the industry with us. However, over the last 3-4 decades, the industry grew exponentially. Especially in probably after 2000, it grew a lot. So, Computer Society or any other professional association in IT around the world doesn't have 100% of the industry with them. So, if you talk to say 60,000 IT professionals out there today, are you a member of CSSL? Some of them will say they are a member, but some of others will say they are not a member. But that happened because the industry grew exponentially, and after qualifications people go into the industry and sometimes they don't become a member. But I want to highlight that it is important that everyone becomes a member, and if everyone becomes a part of the association, so there's someone to represent you. Now you refer to GMOA, you refer to even private bus owners association. Whether you like GMOA or whether you like Embla, they do their job. Okay? When there's a problem for private bus owners, they can take action because lots of them rally around. When doctors have a problem, like it is right now, whether we agree with it or not, I personally don't agree on GMOA stance, but they can rally around. So that has to be there for IT professionals, and I truly believe in that. So we are taking our full effort to bring the entire IT professionals into the industry, into the association. Now you mentioned about EDCA, and at the point of EDCA, we actually got involved very actively because it indicated some risks where a lot of IT professionals from other countries, especially India, could come. But it also had its positives. So as a professional association, but also a collection of intellectuals, we didn't go to the roads and say no EDCA. On Facebook and stuff, you would have seen certain people do that. But as a professional association and also a collection of intellectuals, we took the path of looking at both sides, especially in a global industry like ICT industry. Can we be just isolated, or do we have to have certain arrangements with other countries? So thinking of both sides, we've actually taken the stance that free trade agreements are important. Companies should be allowed to come to Sri Lanka with certain controls. But when professionals come in, or if we allow professionals to come in, that should be only if there's skill demand in Sri Lanka, skill gap in Sri Lanka. So if for a certain skill, say X skill, we don't have enough people in Sri Lanka, then for that skill you can bring people from India or whatever. But you have to look at the gap, and for that gap, for a certain period of time, you give a visa. With the job offer, you get the person, and after the period is over, the person has to go. So we took that stance, and as a professional association, we were part of most of the government negotiations and discussions, and we are still. And I think Sankalp is part of most of these discussions as well. And we've actually been able to bring the government to that stance. And you will see this, there are modes, mode 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 is for individuals and 3 is for companies, etc. And the government is saying mode 4 is generally closed, but under certain conditions only individuals can come. So actually CSSL has actually played that role, and we've actually were able to bring the government and the stakeholders to the point that we should be. So in that sense, we've done our role, but again my point is that we need all of you and the entire IT industry behind us to make a strong voice. Because when we go into a forum and say that our people don't want Indians to come, and when someone asks how many members you have, are you 100% representative, then we are in a difficult situation. So in that sense, I would like to invite all of you to become CSSL members, Computer Society of Sri Lanka members, so that you actually become the part of the professional association of your industry. Now in certain sectors like medicine, like accountancy, people after graduating, after qualifications, automatically become part of that. So in GMOA is a trade association, trade union. However, once someone takes SLMC registration, they also make sure they become a GMOA member. That way, although it's not mandatory, it's almost compulsory. So you can't be in a hospital with your friend, other colleagues, doctors, without being a GMO member. So that pressure has been created, and the path has been created. In accountancy, as you would know in chartered accountancy, to perform or work as a chartered accountant, they have to be part of the professional association CA member. Now that is not there for computer and for IT. And we are not prescribing that either, because our industry, people come from the various areas, various disciplines, various levels of qualifications, and we don't want to be a restrictive body. If we do that, our industry will not grow exponentially. We have to keep it free, but within that freedom, we have to have a representative body. So that's our stance. So with this in mind, I became the president not 5 years ago, only 2 months ago. And me becoming the president is actually indication that computer society is also becoming broad and addressing the younger audiences much strongly. Vishaka madam has been one of our council members and would know the history of CSSL, because it started in 1976 and has such a long history, just like IESL and some of the other professional associations. Sometimes these professional associations become unrepresentative over time. A certain group or a certain set of people run the organization. And I can be honest and open about that. But over the last 4-5 years, by accessing universities, by accessing newer companies like Moratuwa and all that, and bringing in representatives from them, we've managed to become more representative and bring more people. For example, last couple of years we've gone to Moratuwa and made Moratuwans members in Bhasha. We've gone to universities, newer institutes like SLIT, and made the entire academic staff our members. So that is to showcase that we are open to it. We want everyone, and if we are not open and if we don't bring everyone, we can't. So in that development over the last 3-4 years, I've ended up as the president as well. A society that had presidents who were 50 years, 60 years, maybe even 70 years, now has a president who is 36 years old. So and I'm proud about that, but I stand for a change. So with this, last month we actually have done a major change. That is to bring all IT students in Sri Lanka to CSE membership. Now, our approach in the past has been, once people graduate and go to the industry, we try to bring them into the membership, and that is hard. But the GMOA and chartered and that approach is to bring once they are graduating, because it's relevant to them and that pool is there. So now we've done that over the last 1 month. We've made a decision. We are now converting all IT students in Sri Lanka student members of Computer Society. There was a financial contribution to become a student member. It's not much, but even that small amount was a barrier to people. It used to be 1,000 rupees. But even, you will pay 1,000 rupees and become a member. So we've broken that barrier, so it's free to become a member. Not that 1,000 rupees was big, but even that small thing is a barrier. Financial barrier I have broken. One. Number two, we are accessing universities more intensely now. So when Vishaka Madam invited me to come here, I have another MOU to be signed today with another organization. But I did not go there, but I came here because it's important for me to address you. Likewise, we've actually gone into most of the universities, and if you look at our executive council, it's very representative. I can't say all 13 universities are there, all private sector institutes are there, but because you can have only 12 people, but we made sure we have that representation, and we continue to talk to them to be representative as well. So lots of measures in that sense. We've now had a discussion with Sri Lanka University, with Sabaragam University. So my idea by the end of this year is to bring about 2,500 student members into the system, and once they graduate, so once you graduate, you will become associate members. That is, you have a qualification, but you don't have work experience. So you go through the student membership while studying, and then once qualified, you become an associate member. So you have the qualification but no experience. But after 4 years, you become a professional member of the society, and you can use our title, the post nominals NCSSF, member of CSSF. So that's the path we are taking. But I want you to understand the importance of being a member. And some people think being a professional member of the society is about getting discounts to that, discounts to this, discounts to events and all that. That will come. But I think the more important thing is making our industry more representative, and we have a place to rally on. So I hope you understand the importance, and over the next 1 hour we can talk more about it. Thank you. Thanks. Shall we break for the to ask questions?
We can ask questions, right?
So this actually it was first round. It's like there are 2 rounds. So first round is from the panel. So now I would like the audience to ask questions from the panel. It's like open for discussion. Any questions, engine related? Maybe the questions you asked on the Moodle page, even those will be okay.
You can either decide to have your field day in your hands or leave it in sense.
As Sami said, be curious, ask questions, do not question yourself and then get the answer. Yes, sir.
I have a question on the policy. sector policies. So there has been a transparency issue. I think even as IT students, we don't know what exactly there is. So can you explain a little bit of this policy?
Sure. So first, it's about free trade agreements. So how do we deal with different countries and making less barriers so there's better free trade. Whether we agree on free trade or not is now a question, because now new US president is actually questioning that itself. But before this new president, I think the world kind of believed that free trade should be there. And we are an industry that actually benefited from free trade industry. I mean, if we only had local IT industry, I think all the panel members would agree, we wouldn't have this industry that we have today. So we have to be open to the world. And I don't think we have enough large market to have a thriving IT industry, just a local industry. It has to be an international thing. So I think as a basis, free trade agreements are good. That doesn't mean I am for it. I'm just saying we have to deal with the world. Now, when you deal with the world, how do you facilitate it better? So companies can come here easily. Companies here can go out easily. And investments can come in easily. And when companies and services are set up here, can they operate easily? Can they find talent easily? So those are the questions that has to be answered by the free trade agreement. So if you didn't have these agreements, it would work in the normal way. You don't support them. We don't have that facilitation. They come here, somehow find a way and do it. And things like BOI, Board of Investments, was to facilitate that process. Now the last year, there's new last year or two, this new discussion came, we should have specific free trade agreements with different countries, and it started with India. And the idea was to open up business. And to make it easy, I think government decided two sectors, one IT and the other one was shipbuilding. I think some years back, the IT industry itself had made representations to the government that IT industry here can't grow because there's not enough people, certain skills are not there, and that probably is the reason why IT got big. So I think there's a background to this. A lot of people later said no, and no, why IT industry and all that, but actually 5-6 years ago, I think some industry bodies itself had made representations that we don't have enough people. So this is the context. I think important to understand that context before you discuss the specifics. So then came what are the specifics. So one thing is allowing companies to come and set up. And most of us across the industry agreed that should happen and investments should be allowed to be. But then came the question, when companies come in, large companies may come in, and can they hire people enough in Sri Lanka? So a large company comes, they want to hire 1,000 people. Do we have that 1,000 people here in Sri Lanka? And then came the question, then shall we allow those 1,000 people or 900 people to be brought from India as well? And that's when this CARE came. So what I think and what we said openly as well is if a company comes and if they want to have professionals, we should support it. However, they have to prove that that skill and that talent and that number of people can't be hired in Sri Lanka. This is what usually Australia does under their 457 visas. You prove to the government by advertising and showing that we can't hire that many people, that skill in Sri Lanka or that country. And then you go out and find people from the other countries. So that way you actually have a guarantee that that skill gap is there in Sri Lanka. For those job offers are made and visas are given to foreign people. So on that basis, I think it's okay. So this is what we've stood for, and I think currently discussion is there. And I think I can't speak for the government because I don't represent the government, but that is where it is. And government has generally said this, allowing individuals to come in, which we call as mode 4, is not open. only under those circumstances it could. So at the moment, I also agree that there's not much transparency. And sometimes you can't give a lot of transparency also when you are in a negotiation with another country. The government can't publish the draft agreement on websites, because you are still in negotiation. So you have to be fair on that. But what we asked as representatives is, okay, we will not release it to the public, but we have to be on board in discussions to see how it goes. And I have to be fair, to a certain extent we will be involved. We also don't get full transparency, but to some extent. So I hope it answers your question. That transparency will come through representative bodies. You can't have everyone going to the discussion table, especially in a connected world like today with all Facebook and LinkedIn and everything. If you openly release everything, there's nothing to negotiate. So people will be on the roads and representatives can't go to the discussion table, negotiation table. So you have to understand that context. So, and that again brings to our earlier point, making these representative bodies strong, so that when we go, we actually speak for you. If someone else says, no, you can't speak for professionals and you don't have the representation, then you are weak. So, anyway, I hope that clarifies. But we've had discussions and even a forum with /com PTs where we invited all the professionals, and what we said was, don't get scared, because we are trying to build kind of barriers and controls in place. But if you are good at what you are doing, the companies will have to look at the Sri Lankan talent first. So the first problem was the protectionism. So you are scared whether you are safe. So what my kind of advice to you as graduating students, you don't have to be scared about this. Just not going to be mass scale kind of importing of Indian talent. That's not going to happen. To be on control basis, and companies will have to run through interview processes, and they will have to look at their costs and all that. And in that context, qualified good graduates of Sri Lanka will be still safe. So that's what we do.
Yeah, let me add this to the same sentence. He actually wrote about from the framework from the institutional point of view. There's a saying like this, when the winds of change come, some people will votes, some people will win wins, right? Like in that case, even with ICTA, some people will win votes, some will win wins. The reason is that, as you rightly mentioned, so that, that deficit is there even today, we have projects, but we can't recruit people for that. Getting that from India or not is a different story. But it's always, why you need not to be really worried about this is, don't think that any company here or maybe out there in town would take them in grow in large scales. Culture comes first. If I take maybe 10 or 15 Indians, even now, I know that, this is going to be good. Right? So that you controls, companies know to which extent that actually that they are going to have that control. One company is there to take all these, people coming from out there. That even, sustainability would be a question because, that example was there with emphasis, I think, they tried, but actually they miserably failed. They had to, close the shop and now its operation is no more there. I think, your duty here is, let us handle that. Right? You just think about what you all need to do and do that to your level best. Right? We will say that you will.
Thanks. Can I just add one statement so that I'm going to see or something? I told you, so just reflect yourself and see why I am really bothered about ETC. And maybe you all are really strong people. See whether you can figure out with that super person. Because you all are worried with this worry would convert you to the poor person. This worry would convert you to poor person. Just consider it. ETCA comes out. Now, end of the day I have to admit, right? My company growing double in numbers as well as in dollars. Have a lot of Indian top executives in Silicon Valley persevere. So India is not a it's not a joke, right? So we are seeing just one side. Right here, Pepsi Cola is having Indian CEOs. So we have to ask this question, right? That's why I thought forget about ETCA first. There is something we have to take from this. Why Sundar Pichai? Why Microsoft gave CEO to India? So Cisco to all these top executives. So I tell you, we have to, whether the Indians come or not, it's a different matter. As the industry, for us to get to that top level, you guys have to change your attitude, the way you think. First ask, so what's my purpose? Don't let your purpose to determine by external simple factors. Don't let my life purpose is to hire a car, have a nice house, have a luxurious life, go and take photographs, Great Wall to Sydney Harbour to that places. That should not be your life. So if you are worried on ETC and you are really worried on country, first thing is reflect yourself and ask question. You are the, I think, top intellectual talent in this country. But what am I going to do to myself and to the country? So there, what are our skill gaps? As nation, where we are strong. So as a community, how can we help each other? Then these are just a set of things. If we can keep on talking this one, but important thing is, I just want each and every one of you to reflect yourself. So this would really convert, as Ravita mentioned, all of us into witness versus words. So I think that's what we want to do.
Thanks. Do we have any more questions from the audience?
Since the TCA is the big, so I'd like to raise this question. So we are much familiar with the what would be the impact of the professions, but I have to ask that even though Sri Lankan companies go and start a business in there, and they also can start the companies in here, but if I consider the country like India, they have the large customer base, so they can experience the economies of scale. So what would be the impact of Sri Lankan origin companies if we DTCA come to an action?
I'll tell you, first thing is, I told a lot of people that are the first to go to India because our top talent could be simply absorbed Indian company because in India, practically, I know personally, IIT, they are being one of the greatest people. I think it is actual fact, right? The virtual size operating there, they get in IIT that is 40th day only. And just progress. That's the truth. And I know Macy's is one of my customers. Macy's is trying to start their own Indian operation. They cannot even figure out a talent. That's a mandate of the senior VP hired from Yahoo to Macy's. He personally told me when he is in Sri Lanka. He personally met me and had a big chat on this talent matter. He told all these top guys are straight away targeted by Facebook, Google, all these big corporations. So truth is, from organization point of view, I think all of you may be in India. That's the truth. That's the truth. You want to add anything?
Just one more thing. Other like our operation, we have been outsourcing, and it's mostly for Scandinavian countries, Norway, Sweden, that sort of countries, and mostly Europe. I think when it comes to volume, that's where I think India is like really good at. When it comes to US, some of the other countries, Australia even, they will go to India because they want demand. But what we have created from outsourcing point of view, is a unique proposition to all the European countries. That's what we are saying. Because for European countries, they don't want the mass. They don't want like 10,000 people or 1,000 people. They want small little groups that are really good, self-driven teams who are really good in communication to actually communicate them and deliver. I think we have to see where we are good at and try to like optimize on that so then we take it there. So when it comes to dealing with Europe is looking at all the other possibilities when it comes to outsourcing. We are not competing with India, and it's not India even. When it comes to competition, when it comes to outsourcing competition, it will be Vietnam, Eastern Europe and all these other countries, Russia. We have also project for Russia because they are really like, they can talk and they are saying it. Those are things that will really make a difference when it comes to, making our uniqueness. So I think that uniqueness is one that we have to focus and then get it up and running. Communication is important because when you have a small team, I don't think we are going to have the project manager to everyone else to have all the communication done. We don't have that. Simply we don't have project managers. We have a team and they are communicating directly with the client. That's how we are operating. So in that sense, they don't see the value in a project manager. For an Indian company, they might because 1,000 people to manage it, I think that will be like really hectic. But for 5 to 10 people strong team, you can't get it. And that team can perform much better than like even 100 people comparatively. They are like really strong in their skills and everything.
I tell you, it's perfect, right? But I will further elaborate right to the exact point. When I told you it's analytics and empathy, this word is not blindly coined. We knew where the success. So it's not all about when you mention communication it doesn't mean how fluent you are in your English language or accent. And that era is gone. Honestly speaking, we have been considered as the innovation hub in Silicon Valley for a whole department store. And it has huge about 15,000 employees, but out of that, 200 that innovative team is our company. Right? So we have been showcasing Yahoo and winning lots and lots of getting attention and coming up with their very few ways to hit against Amazon. Right? That's hitting against Amazon game. But so the game real supporters are this very serious some Indian people. But they themselves they could have gone to India. But they selected and they really grew us for one reason. They told so you guys have a very nice blend where you are very friendly. So that's DNA of Sri Lanka. On top of that, you know how to say no in very nice and polite manner for a common mission. They guys say both Eastern Europeans and Indians are sometimes lie in blunt term lie. Whenever you guys are there, you know how to win our hearts. Because the challenging most IT strategies, technology strategies is to win the people. So winning people is more than actually technology also. So I tell you, that this is something we are, what I saw in party, we are losing the DNA of Sri Lanka. Being really nice and being gentle. These are not just words, right? When I use the word gentle, I know that what's really meant by that gentle feeling. When I use the word empathy, I know that feeling. But you have to know that meaning. Meaning is not literal meaning, feeling attached to that meaning is more important. So, along with your technology skills, that people empathy related things you have to master. I think that's the way, that's the future in this world. That's why I told you we have a very unique background for us to really fight and capitalize on these things. Because a lot of others, they have to inculcate, but because they are in us, unfortunately we are killing. So this is what I want to again emphasize even in this entire discussion. That's I told you my entire thing, I would focus on both analytics and empathy. just by keep on repeating, these are very important for every person to be great. So great set would convert great companies and great countries.
I recall a small thing to summarize this. Few years back for CSE we had a tagline, I don't know whether it is still same, when you are the best, the rest doesn't matter. Right? So you have to focus just to be the best. Then the rest will not matter.
Jennifer.
My question is about building the passion. Some of us may not have a good passion about ICT industry. Even in our field, because we may have taken the wrong choice in the previous days. I don't know. Perhaps I mean. But my question is that how do you guys build the passion? I don't know whether you guys born with the passion or something like that. But I think it can be built because my question is, do you guys have any advice about it?
I'll tell you a little story about one of my friends and me on the other hand as well. When I started, he used to do the same project, this is one of my car, and we were doing development. And after doing some time development, and we figured Raj is not the person to do development. And this was like going everywhere, like not delivering, we had to cover it up all the time. And we said, okay, try something else. And then he started doing QA stuff, the next one. For QA, he was like really good actually. Because he started seeing that quality assurance is the thing that, because he's more people person, he wants to like, interact, he wants to try out everything because he's like always on phones and everything, testing everything out. And he was really good in it. After some time, he became like, he became QA head or something like that at one point. But even with that, he was not exactly on to computer stuff. He's Tamil, Tamil, and his parents are saying you have to do engineering. That's why he has got into the field of like actually doing engineering. But throughout all this time, what he didn't like to do was music. he has been liking to like always like composing stuff. His like mentor was like this Indian Rahman or something like that. So that's what it was. But he has been keeping that for some time. Yes, he has built something for himself down the line in QA passion. He has a certain passion, yes. But his main passion was music. He has been doing music on and off for a couple of radio stations. And at one point he started doing actually composing music and releasing songs. You must have heard about Sandamituri Kasulkala. Alright, that's composer Rajkumar Dilapala. He's now I think composing like a lot of stuff. He most probably getting like 10 times what I'm getting because of digital rights only. We are talking about digital rights, like when you call, you have the ringtones and everything. So that's how like in Sri Lanka you get like music rights because distribution doesn't really, it's like pirate. So that's where he will make money. And he is producing now full time doing music stuff. At the same time, he is doing consultancy on quality assurance, pre-launch and quality assurance. He is like doing consultancy on. I think what you like to do. For me, on the other hand, I always liked computer, and I have been at it for a long time. You have to look at yourself. I think you can mention earlier also. Question whether where you want to be. Might be it will be temporary, situation where like you will be in IT and some down the line you'll be like really successful on something else. Might be. Or you have to try out different stuff, quality assurance, development, business analysis to deployment to everything else to see like where your passion within the industry is also. Best thing is try it out. So take a chance and then try it out and see. You might be successful in something totally different that you would never planned as well.
just adding to that, I think no one is never late to start working on your own passion, right? We can get many examples, people who have, done academics with technology, but later move on to banking, later move on to marketing, and have become successful, right? So it's not, not late to start working on your own passion. Only thing is, you should identify what is the passion you have in your life, right? If you have heard the famous speech of Mr. Dhananjaya, they say that I see something in you, but I don't know what it is, right? So, no one knows, we don't know what it is for you. So you have to identify what is your passion is. I don't usually come up with a singular word for passion. If I come up with a singular word, you have to identify. If you identify that and work on that, focusing only on that and work on that, you will have a better future. Now, if I share my experience, I had my passion for software anyways, and I had my passion for singular things, right? Creating software in singular. So that was my passion from school days. I did a very simple software called Moratuwa, a singular biological encyclopedia kind of thing, and as my A-level project, long time back. But for that also I got an award, Young Computer Scientist 2007, offered by CSE. And later on, even after coming back to the university, I continued working on my own passion, right? For the most, our company's first product was my university project, which was called Set Browser, which is a web browser capable of rendering Sinhala and Tamil scripts. At that time, where mobile was not able to render the Sinhala and Tamil scripts, I was the one who innovated that technology to the mobile. And later on, fortunately, I applied for a Substation Award and I was awarded, and I got a demand from Excella, a big telco company, for that product. So that at that time I commercialized, because I had my first product, the smart product, and my first customer on my hand, which is the most challenging and most difficult thing to achieve when you're working on your own startup. First successful product and first successful customer, right? So at that time, I started my own company, registered a private limited company, and working on the same passion. And today, now I'm running it for 5 years, having about 15 employees, and having, I think much better income than the colleagues that are moving to the corporate sector. So, 5 years back, for someone working on singular software and building a business on that to survive, to make a life, may be a crazy idea for many of the people, right? So, but it was my passion. No one else have interest on that. It was my passion. Since I focused on my passion, I could build it up to a level that now I have come to some level with many national and international recognitions, over 15 awards, and many other achievements, right? So it's just a matter of identifying what is your passion. You have to identify.
One addition, great to have you here. I think the last 2 times, I came here, I mentioned about it as a living example of the word passion. And in addition to that, if you really want to know what this really is, that there are 2 things that actually you can get a good idea about that. So one is, I can't remember the name, so that actually it's a book about Che, right? It says top to bottom, not answer it, right? So that this is, his philosophy, and if you read that, and how we, the application side of that, actually you will really understand, everything that actually we now, what is there in the literature now is being explained there in the book. Being there, born in a different country, going to Latin America, 15,000 kilometers just to, save people's life, and then going to Bolivia to fight, So that, not an ordinary person can do. That's one thing. And the other thing is, if you can read about Larry Page, you know Larry Page? Larry Cole, sorry. Larry Cole is the author of the Pearl language. That having done his first degree in music and philosophy and coming into the linguistic and then the computer. If you can read that, 2 books, it really says what you really want to have to be a passionate. You need to read books.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions? Well, I have a question from the panelists. So basically, I read this article on, it says that employers cannot distinguish between Facebook and LinkedIn. Like, they expect Facebook also to be a professional body, and as well as LinkedIn is of course professional. But some employers expect Facebook also to be like a professional figure of the person. So I have seen, like, when we go through Facebook, there are political, like, entire page of that person is politics. Maybe breakup codes, maybe law English that we don't understand. So, like, there are Facebook pages like that. In terms of job interviews and selections, when you're picking or judging a person, what kind of impact does the Facebook page have?
I don't use those both, the LinkedIn and Facebook at all. The reason is, yes, as you said, it's not a proper representation of you. You can read all these things, go through the profiles and all that, but LinkedIn is a different thing. It is professional and actually you don't have all this garbage there. But Facebook is different. When you are free, it's not, I'm not criticizing that. It's one, social, affordance mechanism and object, right? So that, but what we usually do is, that CV itself, or maybe the discussion that you have, like getting to know you from a third party, makes a better understanding about a person than going through all this garbage. Alright? You need only 2 questions to, if the question is completely based on yourself, right? 2 or 3 questions maximum to test your ability. We are not good, but at least with all this experience, so that we feel that feeling is the one that actually, as I told you, touch and feel, not look and feel. The touch and feel is the one that actually we most of the time practice. Yeah, I think, I don't criticize anything, as I said, you can have anything there, so that it, I think, it doesn't reflect, but certain things can be taken, but I think, better you just be yourself and, identify that person as himself, rather than just relying on the other, or maybe the other information available in Facebook and all that. As I said, I don't have any of my colleagues in the office in my Facebook. Need of student other than that fortunate guy, Lakma. I don't still know how we actually, I have not even accepted that. But I don't like to see you from a different color. I like to see you with your own colors. So that's why I don't rely on that. As I said, I don't give a damn.
Does anyone else have a different perspective? This is actually a long topic called the digital literacy.
Who has a bad picture on FB, like a really bad picture, if you have uploaded any bad, that's what I'm saying, it's not a real representation in a way. You can do like anything you want, it's like what you want to be also. But I think when it comes to interview, we just have to talk with the person to see the real colors are. So you can be anything you want if you don't want.
So in terms of digital footprint, when we give a CV or a resume, do we actually Google search and check, do we do background search digitally of the person? Then what kind of aspects do you actually look into when it comes to digital footprint?
I think we usually go, say for example, if you have done any blogs or anything like that related to some sort of a technology level, related to software that you have contributed, yes, we will look into it. But that's what I think we most commonly look at.
So now, rarely I personally agree with CVs. However, I have a right to see all CVs at my company, but once in a while I just glance through. And if ever I spot something, so normally I have a personal, every year I want to pick one person, one great guy. I want to bring him up. Last 2 years it was top 2 people I think that when I go back previous years it was bottom person I can took it to the top, that was my mission. So there I just glance, and what I do is I normally just search Google. So I have a person who uses searching, and that searching may trigger something. It's not a very right mass scale model, but I have a personal mandate every year I want to build one great person. So hence I use, but it doesn't mean it is the only thing. But typically when I search, I figure out this extra guy, that leadership things you may be able to see. So when I see there are more things on just Facebook, cluttering all these things, normally when I pick that name from a CV already, I think I feel here's something extraordinary. I just search, so where it has been referred, how many people have been referred, so that sort of part. I consider, and just go Facebook, even so Davida doesn't do that. I told Davida's boss, Bhasha, he also wanted to do the same. Because Bhasha, I never publish on Facebook, telling you team might be someone is always publishing my photos. But I personally put something as a message for people, but I keep adding people. Especially I give my attention to my employee. There's a trend, even though HR and all these people are there, how much we are accessible. We go to people desk, and I never ask person to come to my desk. I go to them, I sit on his desk, put a pattern of like that. There's tendency in this generation, you share your expressions on Facebook and physical interact. We love to share our expressions and feelings. That, but you are used to that. Hence, I take that advantage for me to understand unhappy. That's it for me. Just one unhappy person. Maybe unhappy has nothing to do with the object outside. Mostly it's outside. But it has a greater tendency to propagate into the system because effects are there. So I personally use Facebook for that purpose.
Not for the interview itself, but when it comes to HR, they usually like, because people express in a different way than it used to be. Now it's more virtual and everyone is like online and everyone is expressing online. I think HR usually, because you can see if a person is unhappy, they will be quoting something related to it. You will be like putting leadership quotes. You can easily see that. And then say it, then you can see, okay, best leadership is this. Then you will know that there is something related to it, that there is this tool also. So we can identify why and then help him out in whatever way we can, if it is possible. Because sometimes people don't come directly and then ask, okay, HR, okay, I'm unhappy about it. It will be like only a couple of people who will actually do that. So people who are sometimes hidden, they want to express it, they will go to meetings. So if Facebook can help HR out, that will be great. They will be looking at that.
I'll also make a small comment. As an employee, I have also interviewed about 30-40 people. So I think it's little bit different when it comes to small companies compared with the large organizations, because when it comes to a small company, it's actually a team, right? It's a team of 10, 15, 20 people. So most of the time, when it comes to a small team, they have personally also time with each other to have a teamwork, right? Now, in terms of a large company, there are teams, but there are separate teams. But in a small company, all the employees of that company is just like a one team, right? So when we are recruiting, in addition to the professional skills, or the academic skills, we need to have someone who will suit into our ecosystem of the company or the startup, right? Because we have our own ecosystem that we have created for our needs, and we need someone who is suited to that. So in terms of that, in addition to the professional skills, we mostly look into the personal image of the person also. Now it cannot be judged just from the Facebook. We will use different affiliations to do that, but also Facebook profile or all the profiles you have digitally will add some contribution to that. Because it's true that people express more on social media than they are, but that's also a good point in terms of employer's perspective. Because the hidden things, some sort of hidden things that we can identify, what type of attitude that you have. And also for you to give an advice, now in the coming years, in the future, your digital footprint will be some sort of thing that represents you. So it's always advised to maintain it in a level that anyone can see it in any time. In some cases now, some are really, impressed to see some of the posts that you share or you post. So it's also something that you should do in parallel to maintain your professional life.
Thank you. Just want to add a little bit personal experience, because I hope you would not mind this. When I was invited to join the Computer Society of Sri Lanka Executive Committee 5 years back, as Yasa said, we perceive this as an organization which belongs to the older generation, not so much professionals. And I didn't know Yasa Sabeli from at that time. Of course, that's not correct, right? When I walked in, I realized that there was this guy called Yasas Vishudhya who was writing a very intelligent column in a newspaper. I never knew Yasas, but yeah, it was not even the digital footprint I would call, but I knew about somebody who was being very professional. My perception about whether I wanted to be in that committee or not was completely changed. Of course, Yasa's pleasant disposition also perhaps, but that feeling of me being among a group of professionals. Yasas probably didn't know this, but you would recall, like when you sometimes you project yourself to a completely different audience through digital footprint. I think that keep that in mind. And my last but not least thing is, do write whatever you can, right? That will improve your writing. Yes, sir, I think you should take a little bit about your
probably not on Facebook, but on standing out from the crowd, if I can make a comment here. I actually graduated from university in 2003 from University of Colombo and in computer science. One thing I felt at the time was there were 40 bachelors, and my first employer was Moratuwa, and my employee number was 20,000. And I felt I'm part of a large crowd, and it's a little difficult to progress because you have so many other people who are similar in a way. Not that I wanted to get ahead, but I had that feeling. And I have to say, I was not the best programmer. I joined as a software engineer, and in a group of 10 that I worked initially, I realized I would be like, out of 10, I would be like 8 or 9. I admit that. And that was a time when I was like actually searching for myself, what I am good at. And I realized, and the IT industry didn't have this business analysis at the time, and it was quite kind of early. But I kind of read a lot and figured out there's a little bit there in business analysis where you could be in IT, but also be connected to business. So I started to talk to my seniors and move into that path. What that did was, in a large company like Moratuwa, I was one of the earliest business analysts, initially titled as systems analyst, but did business analysis work. But it actually created a path for me and be a little different from the rest, but also leader in that small sector. And that helped me to build the VA track and be known for that. So you find your own area so that you become a leader in that. It might not be a big niche, but you are known for that. One. Number two, while I was at university, when I was in my third year, also I felt I was in computer science special and it's a little difficult to get into that and all that. But still I felt in that 40 I was not the best. I would be like at the 30th or 50th place. And I was thinking what to do and how to kind of get ahead. And that's when I was thinking about writing stuff. And I knew I was not like really good at really complicated stuff. Maybe I start with basics and I picked my area as introducing IT to general public. So at the time I didn't have a column. This was in 2003. I was still a third year student. I wrote in English explaining IT because it was very early stages of IT, and I started sending it to editors. When you send 10, 8 or 9 gets rejected and never gets published, but sometimes 1 gets published. And after trying this for like 3 months, 6 months, Sunday Times editor kind of recognized this guy keeps on sending this stuff, and he started to publish. And once in every 2 weeks, like something on IT goes, and he later told me actually it was good because they don't get IT content and IT is kind of growing, and this guy is writing simple stuff on IT for general public, and it is good for the paper. So slowly I created a name for myself, and actually when I was like a Virtusa employee at Virtusa, people now started to know me as that guy who writes in newspapers about IT. Of course, these other employees know much complicated and better things in IT than me, but I write simple stuff for general public. So actually I've created my own space. And that actually continued, and I published a book, it was called A Bit of Bit, a bit on business information technology. Again, not the most intellectual book I would say, but at early stages of the industry, it was a major step and written by a 25-year-old. And a newspaper later, The Island, invited me to write a column, a weekly column, and initially it was IT, and I told them I'll go a little common, and I wrote it for 5 years from 2009 or 10 to about 2014, and later because of a lot of work I stopped it. But I told this, someone who came just like you, from a very average background, and very average student as well. I got selected to the university, but I'm not the island first, I'm not the island 10th, I'm not even the batch first. But someone like that actually could create a brand name for yourself and could create a path for yourself. So I want you to think about those things while doing your job well, while creating your path well, but having that vision clear as well. And also on the same lines on the industry side, while I did this in 2006-07, I went to Australia for about 4 or 5 years, and I continued to write to Sri Lanka while being there. And I got introduced to the professional association there. CSSL is the Sri Lankan body. Similar body there is the Australian Computer Society, ACS. And I went to a couple of events, I took the membership, and I took the membership because I thought it would help me in getting a job, and it did. But once I went to a couple of events, I felt like if I get involved in the management of the society, it will give me some special situation, like become an industry representative, so you become like an industry member. So I was only 26 years, 27 years, but actually when you talk to those people, they allowed me to come into various committees and contribute. Sometimes you think like you are not allowed, it's a special class and you are not in there, but when you start talking to people and approaching people, they actually help. So I actually got involved with ACS in a very active manner. And by the time I left Australia, I was a director of ACS and also a member of the Congress of ACS. And I was only 28 years when I became a member of the Congress, which is the highest decision making of the organization. So I'm not saying this as boasting, but just to say that someone very common boy from Sri Lanka, girl from Sri Lanka could do this. And when I came back to Sri Lanka, CSSL took me. So anyway, so all that I told you, think what you can do and don't think average. You know? I think even Sangal was saying don't become that poor person. Think what you can do best. Now about a year ago, people were talking to me about becoming CSSL president. Looking at our membership, the people that we have to deal with, the representation that you are making, and predecessors that have been in this position, a lot of people would be scared to take this up. But I thought I should, because I think I've been developing that background, and I should take the challenge. So I think as young people going out to the society, you should be ready to take challenges that maybe starting a business or maybe other aspects of your life, but be ready for that. If you do that, you can win in life. Thank you. Yes, sir.
In the field of computer science, it changes rapidly. Like few years back, IoT came, and then virtual reality came, and next we don't know what technology revolution comes. So how to align our career according to the revolution that is happening in the computer science. And my next question is, if we do a job in a big company, the experience that we can take and the experience that we take from doing a startup may be different. So if we are going to do a startup company, do we need a skill set that is that we have to have working from a big company, or just we can create all those skill set within ourselves and go ahead?
So, definitely whether it's a startup or whether it's a big company, I told you very simple two things. These are the universal things, right? So that's why I told you. Now, most of the questions what you are asking, just look at outside. When you try to look into yourself, these are the two things. But so that two things too. A lot of people are telling me, Sankar, what you tell is like water, too quick, but some people they cannot take it as it is, so you have to put it whatever the expected cup. With that, those two things we further expanded, not only by myself, the people around me as our company core values. So it is nothing to do with our company, I deliver any technology disruption, this sort of nature is applicable. So it should be applicable to all of your companies, very simple thing. So I tell you why we wanted to have that values also. This could answer your question. So we thought, typically early stage technology, what we all thought 15 years ago, if we are not part of Microsoft or Intel, all technology what we develop is not be part of their core business strategy. It would be supportive to. So that's why it was always projects, right? But now, in this modern world, technology leads like business. That's why you don't do ARBA, we do public spaces. So I don't want to go into detail. We all agree technology now leads, whereas 15 years ago, technology IT department was support department. So given that background, we also changed our organization game. Applicable to all of you, right? It's nothing to do with our company. From being a technology to technology using people that way. So that's how this word experience is called. And we all can have different words, but end up with that's people satisfaction. In what field? In this very dynamic technology field, that's what we asked. Yesterday some technology, today one, tomorrow what. So for us, what matters is not technology, who. That's our people. Then we want to introduce a formula for each and every person to live in this space and lead the way. we identified a very simple way, trying to expand that mind towards. We thought continuously we have to learn. So we have to keep on learning, then there's nothing called we are going to obsolete, right? So when you are strong on your fundamentals, you can very easily keep on learning. So I believe university hasn't taught you a single thing, but they have taught you what to continuously learn. Am I correct, madam? You all have taught them only what? To learn, continuously learn. That's all, right? That's all what university has. Now, what you learn, you have put it to your experience and others' experience. That's a place where you are going to be master, right? That's the wisdom actually. Life word is wisdom. Otherwise, these are all other theories. You put into your experience, how you put them, you all grow your own wisdom. So now learn, now wisdom. With that wisdom, what we do? We challenge. I think not factual to outside, right? The entire world, what we see, is constructed in our mind, right? We challenge our own mind. You challenge. Now, what you challenge, we have to influence the other society, right? So you have to influence others. So you have to communicate. So you can communicate in live manner or in right manner. So we believe as a way to be in candid manner, right manner has to be communicated. Now, communication itself, now I talk to you all. Can we have that common, again, you have now lead, right? So lead without a title. So we lead without a title. Now, leading without a title, you can talk and lead for some time. Unless you walk, you are not going to be a leader forever. So, walk, your talk, also very important in that game. Now, collectively you are leading and doing, one of the time collectiveness is always you have to manage and you have to measure that. So the collective management and measurement is the ultimate that group success depends on. All these things you are going to do with what? With individual. So, as you clearly mentioned, this is the life formula and there is nothing called single technology. So, these two words further expand into 8. So, I believe this is how you should take the challenge. Damit you will do.
So do we have any more questions from the audience? Okay. So to wrap things off, I'm really happy to see like the entire batch is almost here, and for this panel discussion, and I'm pretty sure that everyone here has gained something out of this panel discussion. We are really thankful for all the panelists here today for taking their time and giving us wonderful advices, something that is useful for us, because we are in the final year, and this is actually something useful for us to gain something and go up in our career. So, no.
I just want to thank them so finish and give it over.
Is there one advice that you would like to give for the students?
Okay, wonderful. I'll give 2. One is go home today and spend the next month, I guess. Not stress yourself, but think about your long-term journey, where you want to be, and then slowly think about what you are going to do to achieve that. So having the vision and the mission clear. So that's my first advice. Second one, think about how you would stand out from the crowd. You've gone to your internship, so you've seen companies, you've seen loads of others, probably like you are, not to say that you are average, you are very good probably, but you have similar people there out there. So what would you do to challenge yourself and be the best in what you do?
I'll come to the point where I started the conversation. Right? So that one thing, as I said, you are pressure. one thing that's you are special. Much like you, I see in 2011, then back in 2015, and I'm going to see you this year as well, which is a good thing, right? So that what made you so special is that the four things which I mentioned. You have the students here, people who are esteemed, like these almost honest. And then you have people actually who are uniquely talented with different skills, right? So you need to verify which skills that you possess, right? The second thing. And the third thing, the driver you will have, people, taking one to the other, it's the trainees that I realized that, they are diverse and different talented. And then the secret sauce which I mentioned, I see people who can blend with the others and, who take that, be the gelling factor. So if you align yourself with these four, I can assure you that, the rest would be easy. You'll make it easy. Right? The second point I want to make is that, there was one question, unfortunately, that was not raised here. The less participation of women, and then, the kind of discrimination. There's no discrimination at all. The less participation is that, it's even here if you take the numbers, so that, you get that, that's what actually we get. But it's not the numbers that actually, numbers are on the rise, because, in 2005 we have only 3%, 2012, 2010 we have 17%, and now it's 33%. So it's on the rise, don't worry. It's not the numbers that matters, whether you have that, the formidable force to drive a company. Taking one example, madam is there. I don't need any explanation, any introduction, and you know what it will be. So that's a classic example in academia, right? If you take Shiroshika, I think in WS or two, and then Deepani in IFS, they are formidable characters, formidable, don't, it's scarce or the word formidable, they are in the driving series, right? So they hold the game in the respective fields that actually they work. So there are no constraints for you, especially the girls who are here. That you have the equal opportunities to play around with you, maybe to play with the other, along with the other guys. The trainees, I think more or less you have the same skills that actually they on the same line of voice you came. So that is one thing, the one basic example. Again, a book if you want to read, so that actually you read about this Grace Hopper. Grace Hopper is the lady who wrote the first compiler. That was way back in 1930s. I think that was a start, and even that those days actually there was, the women representation in the IT industry was little higher. Gaming itself is one school of thought at times. It's with gaming that actually started going down. There can be other explanations as well, that one school of thought. So now what this lady, the Grace Hopper, once said from Grasshopper, Grace Hopper, this respected lady once told that ships are safe in harbor. Ports. But that's not what they are doing. That's the advice that I can give, you are not here to go for or maybe taking sankalpas on, average people. You need to find that the super person. Thank you very much, and I will be very good.
Mine would be try to get the best out of you and to contribute back. Now, if you can move on your career towards a corporate life or an entrepreneurial life, depending on your passion, but whatever it is, always try to get the best potential out of you. Now, that getting that potential will be initially, just after passing out, it will only be for your financial needs, right? For your better salary. But ultimately, you will come into a level in your life that the numbers won't matter anymore. After that, what matters is the contribution from you to the world or to the society, to the country, right? So, if you have a potential and you do not use that from the maximum level, you are wasting something that you can contribute back, right? So, that potential may vary while you are progressing in your life. So at each point, you should try to get out the full potential of you and 2, contributing back. Thank you.
So as I keep on telling you, simple to the, you guys are great in your analytics and your empathy. So gaming is how you are going to make it to your great side, not just kept at the average, ended up in poor. It's what you have to do. For that purpose, what I tell you is, you have to be mindful about yourself and reflect to yourself. Forget about whether you are, just believe on what you do, your ingredients. The ingredients to be great is what you have focused, not whether someone label you as great or not. Because that's an outcome. Let others decide that, but you have to be mindful and reflective to those ingredients. So focus on that.
I would say just be yourself, because where your passion will take you, you never know. Now you might think that this is what you want, and later on you might decide something else altogether that I have seen throughout. But be yourself, and then you can be anything you want to be, entrepreneur to anything else. But you have to believe in yourself, you have to believe in your passion, whatever it is, and then follow it through. It will give you results. That's the thing, that you might not see it now, but maybe in the future, that's where it will take you. I have seen so many people who are in the IT industry, but they're not passionate about it. Imagine 40-year-olds, and they're like, okay, what am I going to do now? Then again, it's not too late at that point also. I have batchmates who are like calling and then talking and saying, okay, I have been like this, and then haven't like really pushed themselves on any of the stuff that the panelists has mentioned, trying to achieve the best that you can, haven't gone there, still trying to find out what it is also. So be mindful about who you are, where you are good in, and concentrate on that. You will achieve great results down the line, maybe even quite soon as well. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Madam, for inviting us as well.
Sorry about that, Madam. Thank you, Madam, and thank you, Sachin, Madam, for this.
Thank you, Gil. They said walk the talk, and I just want to tell you that the best thing you can learn from these gentlemen on stage is how they actually walk their talk. I want to thank everybody. Let me start from this corner. Yes, and I had this discussion about professional bodies and all that at the last Computer Society of Sri Lanka AGM, and I said, you have to come to Moratuwa and talk to the kids. Yes, I speak the plan, and he said, the earliest I would be able to come will be the second week of February. We had this discussion. I probably mentioned it to you, but I forgot to follow up on this. On Tuesday, I got this call from Yasas saying, Akka, do you think that I should come to Moratuwa on Friday? I said, well, yes, this is what is happening. And then he also said, I do have another commitment, but what you are planning sounds interesting. Let me come. And given that next Friday is a holiday, we realized that your last day of the semester would be the only thing. Despite me not reminding him, he still took the trouble. He said, I'll talk to these people, rearrange it. I know that you are in a hurry to leave, but he did that because he was passionate about it, because he knew it is important to share what he believes in it with you. He had enough excuses not to be here. And keeping up with his professional responsibility, if you want to be a member of Computer Society of Sri Lanka, student member of it, we do have applications, you can fill it in. We will give it at the end of the class. You can fill it in and return it back to, maybe I can correct, right? Or do you want it to be given to them? Okay, so you can have a chat, give it to him and all that. But thank you so much, Yasas, because if you are passionate, if you want to walk the talk, you need to do that. Thank you so much for doing this. On Tuesday you had photography, right? Or Thursday? last Monday. When we had the photography lesson, when Akila came for the photography class, I was telling Akila, oh, where is Damitaya these days? And he said, madam, he is hiding these days. And I was like, okay, then Akila told me that I would like, he right now is not even facing anyone in the organization because he has a huge responsibility on his shoulders with a deadline. And I wasn't sure whether I would see him today. But then I knew, I told Akila, whatever it is, I know Damita is not going to miss this. Thank you so much, Damita, as always, coming here, and this time I am even more grateful because I know the responsibilities you have. If you want to be that professional, if you want to propel your passion, you can always find time to do things, despite having perhaps the future of entire human resource planning of CodeGen on his shoulders. Danika and you will hear about Danika a lot, as he said. We bring Danika as our icon of entrepreneurship. I don't think Danika, I actually, having written to these people, when some of you in the class got up and told me, we need to have an entrepreneur, I said, I'll get Danika. I never got to write to Danika, but fortunately, two of us bounced onto each other at a function 2 weeks ago. And I promised Danika that night, Danika, I'll write to you tomorrow. Tomorrow never happened until this Monday, until Sunday I believe, where I said Danika, I'm really sorry, last week was hectic, but would you be able to come? Immediately the reply came, yes madam, I will be there. Danika, as you heard today, runs a company. And a CEO of a smaller company, perhaps he's more demanding than anything else, but because he wanted to do that, he always says, I'm ready to share whatever I have gathered with people. He never thought about the number of hours that he would be spending here, and he never took it on his shoulders. She never told me on time, why should I go? Though I was week late, even after the last minute, he accepted it. Many thanks, Danika, for being here, and we truly appreciate it. I will come back to Keith. My biggest disappointment perhaps was going to come last night. When I went home around 7:30, opened my emails, there was this mail, Sakata saying, Madam, I'm having a really bad sore throat. And I hope that I would not lose my voice, if though it was decreasing today. I am plan right now is to be back. So I replied saying, no, I hope that you will be able to be there. This morning when I got up and ran to my emails, my husband probably thought, what is happening? I said, no, one of my panelists is not well and I need to know. Thank you so much, Sankalp. Even coming here, he said, oh, I need not to talk, that there are a lot of people. But he never let the poor man in him come forward, right? He always let the strongest man in him come forward. And as he said, always they are always willing to help us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sankalp, for being here. Chandima, you have the best story. You would want to know, right, where is Hasit Payhere? Because I said, if you saw my initial suggestions, I said Hasit also is there. Hasit, last week he was in Japan and coming back to Sri Lanka on the 31st, realized that his company has planned a major event today where he had to be there. And I got this email saying, Madam, I don't even know how to tell you this, but this is happening. What can I do? And he said, you tell me anyone you want to be in that panel, I'll speak to them. This was Tuesday morning. So when he had a list of people, and I said, what to do? So totally I has it, but when I saw Chandimal's name, I remembered the person he was, and also the fact that, like you see, they come from many other things. Chandimal's affiliation with CSE actually was doing MBA. So because you are keen on MSc versus MBA versus PhD, I thought Chandimal would match that. Of course, I had my doubts. A CEO of a company, and 3 days notice, by then this was midday Tuesday, I told Hasit, I would love to have Chandimal in the panel. Could you talk to him? 10 minutes. I get the reply from Hasi saying, he agreed, madam, he will be there. We know the hectic schedule, we know all that, but once again, thank you so much. And this is what the commitment, this is what the passion is. When you are passionate about something, when you truly want to do something, you can find time. So thank you so much, all of you, for walking the talk. Keith, you remember, right? Keith volunteered to do this. Keith volunteered on my request, volunteered to do what Damitaya said, to depict the bat, who we are. So I asked Keith to do it, and if you would remember, I promised, yes, I'll help you. My helping didn't go anything beyond adding Keith onto the emailing list. And yesterday, while seated at another meeting, I asked Sachini, did we give Keith the instructions to do that? And then both of us got fired up, tried to locate Keith. Keith wasn't here. He said he will have a Skype meeting at 3 o'clock. Sachini madam and Keith had some form of a chat. I missed that also because I had another meeting. But when I went home last night, there was this wonderful Google document which was shared, which more or less outlined his plan. I trusted him, I read it, I didn't have anything to change. But it shows if this panel went smoothly, if this panel created any impression in the minds of the panelists, that's because of Keith's planning. Thank you so much, Keith. Thank you so much for running it. Before we show our appreciation to the panelists, can we show our appreciation to Keith? I think though you don't really speak one by one, you are grateful to all these gentlemen for coming here today. So let's give a very big round of applause to show our appreciation. Thank you so much, everyone. This panel would not be useful if you didn't learn anything from this. So we would like to hear what was the key learning point or the most important thing that you learned from the panel today? Usual thing. Write the most important thing that you learned together with your index number and the name. It will serve as the attendance records for this as well. Your learning is the tribute to all of us. Thank you so much. The application forms are there. Mr. Asas will distribute those.